Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or my list and sideboard guides before tournaments, check out Patreon or the YouTube membership program. This channel is made possible by these amazing sponsors. Check out all their links in the video description below. Once again, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Ray, I am revisiting Surgical Extraction Esper Delver in Legacy. This is a deck that I played for Ray a month or so ago on the channel, and piloted it to a 4-1 record. I was pleasantly surprised despite my misgivings about main deck Surgical Extraction. We were fortunate enough to play against 4 decks in the league that care about their graveyard in Game 1. Someone in the comments said it best, where main decking Surgical means you're pre-boarded, but sometimes you're going to be pre-boarded wrong. So, huge upside in the matchups where you care about this, huge downside in the matchups where you don't. And mostly, we're just here having a good time. Thoughtseize, Hymn to TOURACH, and Wasteland can get cards into your opponent's graveyard, where they can be picked off with Surgical. If they don't want to play ball and put important things there themselves, you could just put them there for them. A Surgical gives you perfect information about your opponent's deck. If you spend enough time, you could probably deduce their hand based on what you know about their deck. Or I guess you see their hand. What am I even saying? Yeah, you literally see their hand with Surgical, so you get perfect information about what they have now and what they could have later and what you need to play around. It is pretty cool. And the cost, of course, is sometimes you play against like Red Prison, which does not care at all if you take one card out of their whole deck, because all their cards mostly do the same thing. And they're completely replaceable. Ray wanted me to come back to this deck again, and he gave me 10 slots I could change from the last 60. But I only changed 2? Yeah, I only changed 2. He wanted me to stay in the same ballpark, but up to 10 cards I could change to make the deck as competitive as I felt it could be. And I really only cut one of the 3 Surgicals and one of the 3 Snapcasters for a single Dress Down and a single Brazen Borrower in the main. Borrower and Dress Down were the sideboard, which freed up space for a Force of Negation and an Engineered Explosives in the sideboard. And those are really all the changes I made. My feedback at the end of the last video was that 3 is too many Surgical Extraction. You usually want 1 or 0 in a game. And with Snapcaster Mage, 3 Snapcasters, 3 Surgicals was just too much of the same. But I diversified what the deck is capable of doing a little bit, switched the tools around, and now we're just a nice little Esper, kind of slow mid-range take on Esper. There's no dazes in this deck. We're relying on Thoughtseize, Hymn, and Force to get the job done. Baleful Strix to stabilize, Murktide Regent to win. We got the best removal in the format in Swords to Plowshares and Snuff Out. And this is just an efficient Esper attacking deck with a well-rounded disruption package. I'm coming for your hand, I'm coming for your spells, I'm coming for spells you haven't even cast yet, and then I'm going to do it all again, and hopefully just run you out options, and I can kill you with whatever's left. That's the plan with this Surgical Extraction Esper Delver. Let's get into it. I'm on the play in round number 1, and I have the choice of, I'm definitely keeping this hand, and I have the choice of leading on Delver, and then hitting them with a flurry of Thoughtseizes, or I could Thoughtseize first, make sure I'm still alive, and then Delver next turn. I'm going to do that. Safety first in the Moto Leagues. People like combo out here. Okay, this is not combo, but can I collapse this hand by taking any individual card from it? The Chrome Mox is pretty important here. They could still Mind Sensor on turn 2. And it's Chrome Mox, though. The next Thoughtseize can take Solitude, and then Delver can threaten if they ever initiate. Okay, mono white initiative it is. Please don't draw another Chrome Mox. The good news is I've added Dress Down to my main deck, which is a great tool against this deck. The deck is full of Snuff Outs as is. Great tool against this deck. Cavern on Human. Giving up on Aven Mind Sensor. Investing in the future. I'm gonna Thoughtseize them again, and then play Delver. The Solitude has to go. Okay, Elite Spellbinder, that's annoying. I mean, if I take Elite Spellbinder, they don't have a spell next turn. And if they have to Solitude my Delver, I have another flyer in my hand. Okay. Change of plans. And I think I fetch Tundra on this. That just gets all my colors set up. If I fetch Scrubland... Oh no, I need to cast Delver. Never mind. I was about to say if I fetch Scrubland, him to TOURACH is live. I'm going to get Tundra because I need Delver in play. Okay, this is the first of 2 flying threats in my hand. Potentially flying threats, I guess. My opponent's hand currently doesn't do anything. If they draw a 3-drop creature or a from Mox, I'm suddenly in trouble though. Second Cavern. Is this one going to be on Bird? What is this thing? Bird Wizard? Elemental. Okay. So they continue ignoring Aven Mind Sensor as a card in their hand. And they're planning for 5 mana to Solitude me someday. Delver trigger reveals Flooded Strand. Disappointing. I will not reveal that. I will play Baleful Strix. Or I should attack first. Because they're going to have an uncounterable Seasoned Dungeoneer next turn. But Baleful Strix. And then this Brainstorm guarantees that Delver flips next turn. I'll have 2 flyers to attack with. Murky Rage. And pass the turn. Here's the city. And this does make 5 mana next turn. The Solitude is live if they want to not pitch cards and try to play it slow. Can't be countered. So I won't. And this Plains does cast Aven Mind Sensor. Okay, I believe I want to end step this Brainstorm. All the cards in my hand are pretty good, and I might want all my mana next turn. Searching for Underground Sea. Cast Brainstorm. At the very least, I could reveal Snuff Out, but I'd rather not. Okay, Swords to Plowshares. Would like to reveal Plow. Now I have 2 flyers. They don't know I have 3 flyers. I did just play Polluted Delta before I tutor for an island, so I could have saved this shuffle, saved this land drop. See if I end up punished by that. I hope they do pitch cast Solitude here. They Solituded pitching Aven Mind Sensor. That's a deal. Their hand is Seasoned Dungeoneer Plains Mystery card. And they've seen the Plow in my hand. They haven't seen the Murktide Regent. Solitude dies from evoking. I get the initiative. I have 1 island in my deck I could search for. Island. And I'm going to Plow this Seasoned Dungeoneer and then play Murktide. And I've got another free removal spell in my hand, and I currently have the initiative. I'm likely to lose it on their turn. They could just play Dungeoneer and take it the old-fashioned way. Still 2 flying attackers and a removal spell. Yep, here's this. We know about that one. Let's hope they get hyper greedy and go into Forge, but that would be so crazy here. Wow, they're doing it. Cool. Okay. They want to race me. I will engage. I'm not just going to fire off Snuff Out in the end step. I don't need to do that. I just attack with my flyers, and I might even hardcast the Snuff Out. Here comes 8 damage. Took every bit of it. Now I can Forge, which does put lethal on the board. I'm going to Forge onto Baleful Strix, just make this into a giant monster. And I'm going to hardcast Snuff Out and do it now, so they can't untap and flicker this thing. They didn't play their Plains last turn, and they've had enough. Cool. Flying threats. This is a deck that doesn't care about Surgical, so immediately missed on the pre-board action. TOURACH protection from white's pretty good. Dress Down's good. Brazen Borrower's good. I don't know if Plague Engineer matters. We saw a lead Spellbinder that is an X1 human. I don't know if this deck is going to play Thalia. Is that a thing they do? I think I'm just going to chill with TOURACH, Dress Down, and Brazen Borrower for now. I got to find one more cut here. Force is good if they don't have Cavern. They're definitely a deck with 4 Caverns, though. Thoughtseize won me that game. Baleful Strix was involved. All these evasive attackers. Basically every card in my deck. Prismatic Ending, I guess, is the weakest, because their creatures cost 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, I'll let Plow Snuff Out and Brazen Borrow, Dress Down, do all that. Okay, let's go. Thoughtseize and Swords to Plowshares. Those are both presentable cards. Unfortunately, on the draw here, if they turn 1 an idiot, then it's in play. Luckily, since the bans, it's a lot harder to turn 1 an idiot, but if they do it, they got it. And I have basically no way to catch up. But I am going to keep this hand. They kept 7. That's scary. City of Traders. Bromox. I guess a Spellbinder punches a hole with the Thoughtseize, and then they get the initiative next turn. Oh, they're passing. They have Aven Mind Sensor. Luckily for me, I can play without that. Without fetching for a little bit. Maybe Wasteland was the play here instead of Thoughtseize. We'll see how this shakes out, but that was the Soul Land go with no play. Wow! Not even interested. They don't want the Moto photo. The hashtag you kept that? I don't know. I guess they're not happy with whatever they have going on, and I'm taking it. Defeated Initiative in round 1, which is one of the decks that doesn't care about its graveyard and our whole surgical business is blank against, but managed to do it with our flying deck. Let's go. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the draw in round 2 with a Ponder and a Hymn to TOURACH start against an opponent who's already mulled to 6. I am going to keep. They took a mulligan and they have Demilich as their avatar. I probably shouldn't use Moto avatars as much as I do to get a feel for what my opponent's playing, but this feels like someone who would be on combo. If they are on combo, I hope it's not the turn 1 variety. Our deck's actually pretty bonkers against combo, especially combo that uses the graveyard for obvious reasons, but Thoughtseize and counterspells in the deck. Nice little squeeze on people who are trying to assemble multiple pieces. Opponent mulled to 5. Let's see if I'm dead. Ancient Tomb. Oh, it's Chalice of the Void. This might be worse. I have Brazen Borrower and Prismatic Endings in the deck that can clear this. Oh, baby. The mull to 5 Ancient Tomb start. I'm going to go with Wasteland and just try to play a non-game with this person. Island go. So this is feeling like 8 cast right now. I even drew my answer to Chalice. Life is good. Okay, let's see if they can get something going before the Hymn to TOURACH clears their hand, and then I clear the Chalice, and then I just do whatever I want. Versus Saga is a good follow-up. Emery, sheesh. Alright, yeah, they had a pretty good follow-up here. Please miss. Urza's Bauble is in the mix. Yeah, this got a lot harder. Caracas would be a fine draw. Of course it will. Thanks for showing up. They have 2 cards left in their hand. I should probably just take them. And the Urza's Bauble in the graveyard's pretty annoying with Emery. I think I gotta take the cards that are in their hand, though. If I could at least turn off Urza's Saga as an engine, that's really good. By taking a land, we did take land and Sai. They don't draw a land or artifact mana source now. The Saga's gonna reach fruition with no payoff. Here's your Bauble. They saw Brainstorm at random. Yeah, I would love to draw Swords to Plowshares right now. That would be the way to go. I take Snuff out too. That one works. Underground Sea. I'm gonna play Tundra. I think ending the Chalice is better than ending Emery. That's just, most of my deck is affected in that way. White, blue. Take out Chalice. Then I can Ponder and still hit Snuff out this turn. Okay, they force blue carded that. I'm gonna force back. And would rather Ponder, I think, in this spot. Or looks at Snuff out right now. Surgical Extraction, okay. I will put that in my hand. Main deck Surgical with another cantrip underneath it. This will mess with Emery a little bit. Could also just take Sagas out of their deck. That seems like such a spew when they're already top decking, though. Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, that's a redraw, and it messes with my graveyard, which I do care about a little bit. I have 2 Snapcasters and Murktide. Drew a card with it right away. Just trying to make something happen here. think I'm going to surgical whatever they target with Emery this turn. Just one less draw. Targeted Urza's Bauble. I'll take it. Hope the other card in their hand is also Urza's Bauble. Lotus Petal. Bauble's gone. Bauble's gone. Bauble's gone. We've got pretty normal looking 8-cast deck here. They are playing 3 Psys, 3 Kappas, Aether Spellbomb, Shadow Spear. Opponent said in the chat, easy judge call. Yes. Let the salty tears flow. That's why we register surgical in a main deck. Okay, I'm drawing Ponder and I have a land underneath it. I think I would rather take the shuffle and just see 3 totally fresh cards. Or I could see 2 fresh cards with a shuffle, guaranteeing I don't see any more of them. All right, I talked myself into taking the second shuffle rather than the first. Okay, I'm going to shuffle this. This does not answer Emery, which is currently the problem. Shuffle it up. Brainstorm. Let's get another look. Come on, deck. We're full of removal. That's not removal. I also can't cast Murktide Regent with what I have available. Murktide is how I'm going to win this game, so probably Force of Will, Underground Sea go away here. I just hope they don't Soul Guide me next turn. Force of Will, Underground Sea, get out of here. I'm going to play a Baleful Strix. Black, I could still hit Snuff out right now. Reason B, okay. The plan's starting to come together. Unless they have the 1000 IQ play of replay Soul Guide, don't draw a card, and bomb my graveyard, I think we're in good shape to stick a big Murktide. Suspect they're going to want to keep drawing cards unless they saw Murktide or Snapcaster on top of my deck with this Bauble, which I don't know what they saw. If they saw Snapcaster, they might wait on Soul Guide though, and then Murktide will get them. All right, they're just going for Bauble. Okay. Mox, Opal, 1 card left. They could Thought Cast with what they have. And they Thought Monitor. I think they can. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, Sigh, sure. That's annoying. We can make it work. Not a removal spell. I attack with Sigh or with Baleful Strix first. And I think I play Murktide and bounce Emery. Because Emery is the one that guarantees a trigger from Sigh. Big Murktide. And then Petty Theft the Emery, which does let them mill again, but it means if they want to cast Emery, they can't pop their Bauble this turn. Unless they want to roll the dice on hitting another mana source, which they do. Every removal spell in my deck, save for 1 Prismatic Ending, is still in my deck. Okay, they did spike on not only a mana source, but an artifact mana source, so Emery costs 1, and then they have 1 extra card in hand. I'm going to hope it's not a castable artifact. Bummer. Okay, Shadow Spear. That gives them a blocker for Murktide. And Thought Monitor's in the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is live for next turn. I would like a removal spell for Emery. Please and thank you. Got one. Cool. Okay. Baleful Strix is going to turn sideways. I'm happy to trade that with Thopter if I get 8 damage out of it. And if they block at all, it hurts their affinity. Okay, them blocking the Murktide means I'm gonna Baleful Strix this turn. Blue, black. Wasteland, take out Seed of the Synod. Swords of the Plowshares, the Emery. Ka-chow! That was a good turn. Sigh is the type of thing that can waste a lot of my time and get them in this game, but feeling good at this moment. Cool. And they're feeling bad enough to scoop. Engineered Explosives, Null Rod, although that's a non-bow, but we're going to ignore it. Dress Down, Brazen Borrower. They did show me a lot of size in the main deck. I could play Engineer for Thopter if that's something I want access to. They're not really a graveyard deck. And Emery does use the graveyard, but I'd rather kill Emery or turn off the artifact she casts than fight over their graveyard with them. Snuff Out's great. Baleful Strix is fine to medium minus. Probably shave a Strix safely here. I do like Force of Will. Fighting over Chalice is going to be one of the more important things in this game. Ending's uncuttable. Snuff Out's great. Borrower's another answer to Chalice or to a Giant Construct. I could back off of a Thoughtseize. They're a Chalice deck, and I'm on the draw. I still have him to TOURACH in. I don't think there's room to do the anti-Thopter technology. Just have to kill Sai. Works for me. Let's go. No colored mana sources. Unfortunate. Gotta send this one. Okay. I will keep this one. And I'm going to put Snapcaster Mage to the bottom. That's the one that's farthest away from being helpful right now. I could just get like a Delver Cheese start. The double Delver versus Ancient Tomb deck. Classic Legacy matchup. Dumping out some artifacts. I do have Force of Will. Soul Guide Lantern I don't care about. They could Emery or Thoughtcast right now. This Thoughtcast seems like a trap. I'm not going to force this. And they appear to be just passing the turn. Okay. They have a Lotus Petal in second main. They didn't pass the turn entirely. I hesitated just enough on Thoughtcast to telegraph Force of Will, and I wonder if they're thinking if they should shove whatever their last card is. Snuff out one of my best possible draws here. And now I'm just going to put the damage on the board. Delver, Delver, Force of Will, Snuff out. That's my plan this game. Make them dead. I don't have to counter an Emery or Sai now that I have Snuff out. Ooh, they're just passing. Delver. Down Snapcaster Mage, disappointing. Now I can make the classic BoshNRoll decision of, do I try to ponder, hit my land drop, and play my second Delver? Or just play the Delver I have? I'm just going to play the Delver I have for now. There's 17 lands in my deck. 4 of them don't cast Delver. Yeah, I'll just chill. Thought Monitor, yuck. This isn't a card I really want to play against right now. I can snuff it out, though. But I'd rather them not draw 2 cards. I'm going to force pitching Snapcaster. And they forced me back pitching Kappa. Okay, that's a thing that was worth holding on to. Now they have this jerk in front of me. Yeah, that was a good one to find. Mishra's Bauble. 1, 2, 3, 4 artifacts. They can't Kappa right now. Yuck. Oh, my nightmare. Okay. And when your opponent passes their first 2 turns without making a land drop, you can assume their hand is full of gas. But this was a big one, especially specifically the flying creature. 2 flying creatures. Like if this was Emery or Sai, it would be way less of a problem. They saw Ponder at random from my deck. They get to draw cards before I do anything. I think I just got to kill one of these things while I can. Should have done it on their turn if I was going to do it then. Because that turned on Force of Negation. Swords of Plowshares, let's go. Delvers are waking up. Now if I ponder into a white source, I can clear this one as well. No such luck. Shuffle. And another look. Shuffle Strix, okay. I will just attack for my 6. Trading here is mostly fine. I'm still ahead on board, and that's a bunch of artifacts out of play. They don't have Emery to start looping those. They do have 6 cards in their hand while I'm missing land drops now. Chalice of the Void turns off most of my hand at this point. Their Spellbomb's worth a lot of time. Okay, and they have Chalice. Alright, yeah, this, I did a good job with 1 land for 4 turns. Oh god, and Emery. Cool. Alright, yeah, we're dead. The other Snuff Out or Caracas could stabilize against the Emery. Now we're just dead. Okay. We made a run out of that one, but the drawing all the extra cards on top of the 2/2 bodies was too much. I don't know that my plan changes here. I could bring in my 3rd Thoughtseize now that I'm on the play. What does that replace? I guess Snapcaster Mage. They've shown me Graveyard Hate in the main deck and the ability to loop it. I think I'm just off this 2nd Snapcaster. I'll keep 1 for good measure. I'm playing first, and I have a Delver. I'll keep. Start with Underground Sea. That gives me him to TOURACH if I draw it off the top, and if I need to clear a Chalice, I can just fetch a different white source. The Synod, Mox Opal, Emery, a bunch of stuff. All right, let's flip Revealing Snuff out. How about that, Delver? Flip Revealing, or did not flip Revealing Scrubland. Okay. I will, in that case, Brainstorm. I did find him to TOURACH. I don't need this basic island, and this is a lot of prismatic endings, but not mad about that, actually. Well, since nothing else came, I'll prismatic ending this Mox Opal. I'm floating a prismatic ending on top, which will flip Delver next turn, and I can him to TOURACH them. There's Lotus Petals in the graveyard, so that wasn't a huge hit, but hopefully it slows them down a little bit. Saga. Chalice, okay. I can answer that, and I can attack. They're going to see the prismatic ending on top with Bauble here, if they use it. Yes, reveal prismatic ending. And now I can try to poke holes in their hand with him. Emery makes that softer than I really like. I could ending the Emery now and try to fight their hand next turn. I could ending the Chalice, cast Brainstorm, try to hit Snuff out. This Emery is just jacking me up. I'm going to get rid of that. Fetch a Tundra for the full spread. Exile Emery and start attacking. My deck does have Dress Downs in it. I've got Engineered Explosives. I've got options against a wall of constructs. Him to TOURACH's a lot better without Emery in play. 2 seats. And they found another Opal. This means they can do big stupid stuff like Thoughtcast this turn and still make a construct. They are just passing with all their mana up. That's kind of scary. I think I need to clear this Chalice. I gotta unlock my Brainstorm and try to do something about the rest of this. White, blue, exile Chalice. With Thoughtseize to take a look. See what's coming for me, at least avoid a Kappa Cannoneer. Oh god. Another Chalice and 2 Thought Monitors, so we're just absolutely freaking dead next turn, is what you're saying. Chalice is still the bigger problem here, and they could play Chalice and all these Thought Monitors. Yeah, that hand was about the worst possible. These constructs are going to be bashing as, what, 7s, 8s? I'm very dead here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, just the onboard mana can play both these Thought Monitors. It's 9. Construct's 9, and if they find any zeros, it's bigger. Gonna have to find a Dress Down just to even pretend to be alive. And even that has to beat their 4-card hand. Their 5-card hand. They just fired off a Thoughtcast. Okay, Dress Down, Engineered Explosives are cards that can give me another turn to live. Brainstorm, let's try to find one of those things. None of the above. Thoughtseize and him to TOURACH can go. I have one more shot here. I can fetch, ponder, shuffle, and I did find a Dress Down. I'm going to cast it in my own end step, where it will get Force of Willed, then I will lose. Okay, Dress Down. Moment of Truth. Yep, Force of Will, and I lose. GG's. Yeah, this matchup sucks. The Chalices are bad. They don't care about their graveyard. They have flying blockers. We're out of here. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting Commander events. It features easy-to-create event registration for 4-player Swiss-structured tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no downloads required. You can get access for just $5 at eminence.events/subscribe. On the play in round 3, got this no-lander. Send it. Snapkeep this 2-lander. I can cast him to TOURACH. I think I actually send Snapcaster to the bottom, because if I want to curve Ponder into him, I have to lead on Underground Sea. And I would like to insulate against Wasteland, because my hand is all 2-mana spells. Opponent also mulled to 6. I'm going to ponder and see if I can come up with some free interaction. Something like Force of Will, even Surgical, would make me feel a little more comfortable. Or all of the above. Hello. Yeah, I'll pop Force in my hand with Surgical under it, and maybe I can get a big him to TOURACH, take your deck out next turn with Surgical. Roll Mox. Okay, our third Stompy matchup in 3 games. Another person who does not care at all about Surgical. Chalice of the Void. I don't like it, but I am not gonna use my Force on that just yet. Oh, that sucks. Scrubland is in my hand. I guess that doesn't matter. Because I want to shuffle the Thoughtseize away now that I know that's not helpful. I'll just get a second Underground Sea here. I'm holding White Source. It's not a big deal. Surgical looking real bad right now, but I can put them to 1 card in their hand. I took a Rabblemaster and a second Chrome Mox. I kind of wish the Chrome Mox was the card that didn't get discarded. Just in the blind. I don't even know what their last card is, and it doesn't matter. Blood Moon, well, that's required reading here. And can I do anything? Okay. The nuts. Prismatic Ending, your Chalice. Stopping your draw step, and I'm going to take... I could take Blood Moons or Rabblmasters out of the deck. I'm going to take Rabblmasters out. I'm more worried about that one. If I pick wrong, I just die on the spot, but if I pick right, I'm going to feel super smart. Simian Spirit Guide, Trinisphere. Okay. We've got 3 more Blood Moons. Cave, Chaos Adventurer. Yeah, this is just classic red Stompy. Those Blood Moons will be trouble for us. If they draw one. 4 Fables, 4 Furies, one of them's under Chrome Mox already. 3 balls. Okay. I believe this is a turn where they cast Simian Spirit Guide. Like, 3-balling me doesn't even seem that good. It slows down my cantrips. Let's just draw Murktide Regent right now. Okay, that does give me basic island if I want it. But 2/2 monkey coming in my way unless they draw Caves of Chaos Adventure. There it is. Ape. Murktide Regent. Shit. Okay. I'm done playing lands, probably. And playing out land number 5 gets me closer to double spelling under Trinisphere. There's 1 Brazen Borrower in the main that can clear a Blood Moon with just basic island available. Alright, they've shown me Layla, and now I have double spell for next turn if I ponder into action. Okay, deck, time to deliver some spells. I'll take that one. Delver of Secrets. Go. And I can do the build your own scry with Delver. Of I look, if I like the card, I can keep it. If I don't, I can fetch. They could spend 3 mana and 2 cards to Fury my Delver right now. Ooh, investing in the future with Chrome Mox. Pitching a Shatterskull Smashing. Why didn't you just play that as a land? It's the same thing, but only costs you 1 card. That's weird. Oh no, you have City of Traders. Okay, makes sense. I'm with you now. I'm caught up. Delver of Secrets reveals Tundra, which means I'm going to fetch that away. Get my basic island, and then draw a good spell. The second Delver, I'll take it. Grace is on. Please don't cast Fury next turn. 4 mana. 5 mana. No! It's Fury! Yep, that will be the end of this game. Murktide Regent can still be large enough to tangle. That sucks. They were smart to invest in Chrome Mox last turn. Come on, Murktide. Prismatic Ending. Kill Simian Spirit Guide. I'll go to 3 against Fury and then try to draw a removal spell and keep playing. It's always disappointing to me when the Hellbent Mono Red deck draws out of a board stall better than the deck full of Brainstorms and Ponders. If they add like anything that can deal 3 damage to the board here, I'm probably in trouble. Oh yeah, that qualifies. We don't need to keep playing from here. Okay. That was a disappointing run of lands. But we've got classic red Stompy over there. Lake Engineer on Goblin is part of my plan. Hydroblast destroys most of the things in their deck. Force of Negation keeps their lock pieces out of play. Brazen Borrower bounces stuff. Engineer Explosives can clear tokens and chalices. Don't need Oppo. Dress Down can stop the initiative from entering the game, but that only bothers me if I'm not on board. Or it can also brick Furies. That's pretty good. Surgicals can come out. We're 0 for 3 on surgical matchups, but at least it's free money when we're sideboarding. Prismatic Ending, Essential. Thoughtseize and Hymn to TOURACH are... I mean, I don't mind Thoughtseize. Like, taking a poke on the play, seeing what they're up to, is pretty good. It gets bricked by Chalice pretty quick, but this is a deck that gets itself Hellbent quickly. Snapcasters actually look good. They let me recycle stuff that's been used already. Murktide Regent, my most important card in the matchup. Baleful Strix, kind of medium, but it is a flying thing that can connect. And boarding in 2 creatures, though, if I need to move my creatures around. I think Delver's really good. I do like Thoughtseize. I like Snuff Out. Thoughtseize is just looking worse the longer I look at it. I could not play Engineered Explosives because I'm doing Snuff Out, Plow, Prismatic Ending, and Plague Engineer to answer goblins, plus the Hydroblast. Engineered Explosives kills Chrome Mox too. That would have ended last game on the spot. It might just be Dress Down. And shutting down a Fury is nice, shutting down the Initiative is nice, but I think I gotta engage in combat a little more than that. And no lands. Gonna mulligan this. 2 lands and some good spells. I'm keeping this. I'm going to keep this and put one of the Force of Wills to the bottom. Hydroblast does a pretty good Force of Will impression in the matchup, and I would rather cast Ponder than my second Force, probably. Opponent has mulled to 4. Now I almost wish I kept the 2 forces. I'm going to lead on Tundra, because if they spend resources Blood Mooning, I can basic land Hydroblast it and just be out from under that, and I don't care. Dead. Okay. I'm not going to Force of Will it dead against a deck that has a lot of I win buttons. Ponder. Found lands and Brainstorm. I'll just put Brainstorm in my hand and play my basic. Chronosphere. I am drawing land number 3 next turn. Results. If my hand needed more velocity than it currently has, I would reconsider that, but I can just spend 3 mana to Hydroblast. I can spend 3 mana to Force of Will. They have 2 cards left. I know I'm hitting this land drop, and then if they don't make me Hydroblast this turn, I'm hitting my next land drop. Brainstorm still just chilling. And I don't care about Blood Moon. I do care about Chalice. That sucks. Okay, so if I force pitching Force, then I still have access to Brainstorm and Hydroblast. I think that's the way to go. Get Underground Sea, Force, pitching, Force, and spending 3. Also a Wasteland deck. If I just draw a Wasteland, I can lock them under their own 3-ball. Now is where heroes are born. I'm going to pass and just give them a turn to put a scary red spell on the stack. What I don't want to do is cast Baleful Strix and then get hit by something scarier. Counter this Fable. Now I have to go in on Strix. Strix gives me 2 looks at Wasteland, which is the thing I want the most. On Wasteland off the top. Okay, Swords of Plowshares. Caves of Chaos Adventurer isn't that scary right now because I just take the initiative. Fury would cost them a bunch of cards. Alright, Caves of Chaos Adventurer. They get to search for a land. I take the initiative, plow their creature. Unfortunately, my basic's already in play. But their own Trinosphere blocks them out of fighting over this Strix. I get the initiative. Nothing to search for. And I'm just going to pass into their turn. I can plow at the beginning of combat. Just if they have a different haste creature, I want to make sure I have all my options available. Make sure to plow before they get the attack trigger. 6 mana. Suddenly rocking out over there. Simian Spirit Guide, you got it. Okay, do I want a 3/3 Baleful Strix, or do I want to go into the Lost Well? I think I want a Lost Well. Underground Sea to the bottom. Snuff Out on top. Draw this. And I'm just going to leave my blocker back and enjoy having the initiative. They spend effort killing Strix. I can snuff out the monkey, or I can just trade. And I can brainstorm and shuffle this end step. Land number 5. Don't hate land number 5 because I'm going into stash next turn. That'll give me 6 mana to double spell. I could fetch, ponder, and still cast another spell this turn. At the Underground Sea, and 1, 2, 3, ponder. Baleful Strix, I could just put that into play. That's been pretty good so far. I could also just Thoughtseize the last card from their hand and hope that the initiative holds up. Maybe that's the way. Okay, Thoughtseize is in the deck for this reason. What is the last card that you've been holding this whole time? There's a good chance it's just a land. I hope it's not Silkenzon. Okay, Chrome Mox. Well, don't draw a haste creature. Right now is the moment of fear. Taking the Thoughtseize. And I could have read that it was not a card they would cast because he just passed with 6 mana up. Fiery Confluence. Just dealing 6 to me? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I don't give a shit about that. Deal. I get a Spooky Skeleton. Now I have a win condition. Plague Engineer on Goblin. That does solve a lot of my potential problems. Makes Fury a lot better, but it does... Alright. Just don't have exactly Fury right now. Okay, I get to go into the Throne. There's Strixes, Delvers, Murktides in my deck. Plague Engineers. Snapcasters. All of the above. I want Baleful Strix. I would like to just draw another card here. Okay, land number 6. I can now double spell. So we have a play in combat. 2 damage to my Plague Engineer, sure. Back with Skeleton. I don't... Do I even care about Trinisphere? Probably. Blue, white, black. Yeah, they're genuinely not affected by Trinisphere at this point. They have 6 mana, where the Brainstorm, Snuff Out, High Velocity is how I'm probably going to win this game. Okay, cool. That game brought to you by not knee-jerk force of willing a Trinisphere. And now I'm on the draw. I wasn't totally sold on Thoughtseize anyway. Does that mean I want him to TOURACH in? Or is Thoughtseize still fine at punching holes? This could be the Dress Downs. Oppo is just another thing that can attack and block. I think this is the Dress Downs. I just don't think I'm going to have room for him to TOURACH, and Thoughtseize on the draw against the Chalice deck seems pretty bad. Dress Down increases my blue count for my 5 forces. Here's one of these hands where I snap keep on the play. If they Blood Moon me on turn 1, it's too slow. If they Blood Moon me on turn 2, I don't mind. Brazen Borrower can do stuff. I'm going to keep this, even though it is. I have to hope that my opponent cooperates with me a little bit to let me line this up correctly. But I think it's better than just chasing a 6 with Force of Will. Ancient Tomb and Chalice on 1. Okay. I will at least get my basic island into play, which can Brazen Borrow to clear a Blood Moon or Chalice on subsequent turns. Let's see what the follow-up is. Blood Moon. Okay. Get my basic. Blood Moon resolves. I can bounce Chalice and then Hydroblast Blood Moon and then drop Delver and Plow a creature all in this turn cycle. Chrome Mox. Okay. Chrome Mox pitching Goblin Rabblemaster, so they must have another Goblin. Trinisphere, huh? What do I think about that? I mean, if I want to remove this Blood Moon, I need to bounce Chalice. I'm going to Petty Theft the Chalice of the Void in response to this Trinisphere. I'm going to Hydroblast Blood Moon, but not until they've spent too much mana on their Chalice, because killing Blood Moon now unlocks Ancient Tomb, and if they Caves of Chaos Adventurer instead of redeploy Chalice, that's bad for me. Fable. Okay. That resolves. I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to not kill Blood Moon after setting this up. Kill Blood Moon. Is it Brazen Borrower on the Goblin Shaman token? I mean, that's the one that lets them pull ahead the most. Yeah, that also invests a Flying Attacker Oh, I already had one in exile. Oh, right, yeah. That's my second Brazen Borrower this game. I already forgot. Let's see if they redeploy Chalice. Because Chalice at this point, I mean, Chalice on 1 is still annoying, but they could cycle it away to try to kill me now. Yeah, they did dump Chalice. Now they're going to try to kill me. Uh-oh. That's an effective tool here. I still have Delver. Tundra and Delver. There's one other Hydroblast in my deck. I've already used both Brazen Bees and Hydroblast, which is most of my answers to these things. Snuff Out doesn't work because I don't have a Swamp. All right, Magus of the Moon. Sure. That was already under control. Don't worry. A Revealing Hydroblast. What's up? Right on time. The Magus of the Moon actually does matter a lot here. Do I just hold back Delver to block with? But they can copy Magus. And I win this race. I'm gonna have to. Attack you with Delver. And I could just kill Reflection now. Is there any way in my deck to beat 2 Blood Moons from here? There's not. Dress Down does not stop Magus the Moon from working because of layers. So there's not like a Dress Down end step, untap, Hydroblast line. Snapcaster Mage could block. Alright, I think I just have to Hydroblast Reflection. That card will kill me no matter what, basically. And if they have Caves of Chaos Adventurer, we can slap the initiative back and forth, but I'm losing that. There's mana number 4. Just have to hope that they brick forever and Delver races Magus. Oh no, they're doing stuff. Pyroblast, and I can't force a negation here. Yeah, I think I'm just locked out of this game. Snapcaster Mage is the card I can still cast. And Brainstorm in the end step. Have to force this. Pitching the Strix. Guess I Brainstorm now and then just die. And I will concede to the next threat that comes into play, but as long as I can stabilize with a Snapcaster. Alright, cool. Yeah, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They cast 5 lock pieces that game, or 6 with the Magus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that 5 including the Magus. 2 Blood Moons, Magus the Moon, Trinisphere, and Chalice. Yeah, they cast 5 lock pieces that game. I could beat 4 of them. But, yep. Classic old Prison Mono Red. Mono Red has kind of skewed more in a direction of kill your opponent with creatures than all these Trinispheres, and even Blood Moon sometimes isn't maxed out in the list, but this one was the classic, and I am built to fight through Blood Moon, and I did fight through 2 of them, but here we are with 3. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw in round 4. I wonder which Chalice of the Void deck we're playing against this round. My opponent kept 7. My hand's kind of bad. This is a huge case of needing my opponent to be on a graveyard deck. I'm gonna mulligan. This is where there are oops all spells, and that would have been great. Okay, unpunished. I'm gonna keep this excellent hand, and I think I bought a Murktide Regent out of this. I mean, Surgical is also a reasonable choice out of that. Please be oops all spells. Scalding Tarn is probably not graveyard combo deck. Force of Will. All right, I'm gonna ponder. I just know I need spells here. I'll take generic value spells, like those. I don't want the second Surgical. Don't know that I have a choice in the matter, but it's, yeah, I'm gonna have to draw through it. I don't have a shuffle here. Ponder. With 2 Surgicals available, this might be a situation where I take a peek with 1 and then save the other. I really hate using Surgical Extraction as peek, but it is a thing you can do if you need to. I drop the Strix. Strix resolves. I pick up another Surgical. I'm not just going to like fire it off exiling their Ponders. But if they start taking actions, I would like to see their deck and what decisions they are going to make. Okay, we appear to be some sort of Azorius control. I'll play Tundra. I'm not doing any shuffling. I have no reason to shuffle anyway. Attacking here. They could end step Hull Breacher. Brainstorm, sure. This is a deck that I would definitely rather have 2 Thoughtseizes in my opening 10 cards than 2 Surgicals. But this is the deck we registered. I will say last time I played this deck, Uro was the default control strategy in the format, and now it's Jeskai, which is a totally different animal when it comes to main deck Surgical. Very Time Raveler. And I could Surgical Extract their Ponders here. I'm gonna look at their hand and know what I need to do. I'm gonna do that. Let's just have a peek at your Ponders. Going after Ponder instead of Brainstorm because they can Brainstorm in response, but they can't Ponder in response. Do have Swords to Plowshares. Their deck is a completely stock Jujubee list of Jeskai Undoing. Oh no, there's 2 Hull Breachers instead of 1. Okay. So 1 card off from Jujubee. I will remove your Ponders. And I guess I play Brazen Borrower here. Or I could force this to Fairy and then extract the other one. I now know that that's under there. And that their hand sucks otherwise. Alright, I hate this, but Force of Will. If I play Brazen Borrower, they could plus to Fairy, and their removal spells just hold up. Their deck does have Counterspell in it, so I could guaranteed get 2 cards, remove the Teferi now, or I could give them Draw Step plus Dress Down to find a clean answer to it. I'm gonna be aggressive. Be aggressive. I'm gonna wait for the Draw Step. This gives me the most information, gives them a chance to draw another Teferi. I get punished by Counterspell, Force of Negation, Brainstorm. Oh, they can't actually Dress Down into Counterspell here, because they don't have 3 blue. Okay, they did find Force, but decided that they would lose their Teferi anyway. A reasonable decision. Okay, so we're playing against a wall of removal and Force of Will. Got it. Now I also have Force of Will. At some point, they're going to have to plow this Strix. They have so much removal in their hand. But I will keep happily poking for 1 in the meantime. Plow does answer their 2 Hull Breachers and their Murktide Regent in their deck. That's about all it does, though. They are turtling up on this handful of removal. Narset. I need to fetch. I'm going to force this. If their 1 unknown card in hand is blue, they can force back. And that's fine. But at least let's make Narset cost something. Force pitching, Force of Negation. Alright. You get a Narset. Now you get to stabilize the board and get some extra cards. Press down. I expect now is when we're going to see the Swords to Plowshares. Them letting me get to my turn and draw a counterspell is kind of sus, but I didn't do that. Continue drawing lands. Oh, they let me hit Narset. Wow. What are we saving all this removal for? What's going on over there? Okay. Now they plowed the Strix with Narset at 2, so she can't activate again. She's still in play. And Days Undoing kills me on the spot. That was pretty free. Working with perfect info here. Him to TOURACH would be great. Snapcaster would be great. Snuff Out, not so great. I guess Snapcaster is not great here. What am I even saying? There's not a spell in my graveyard I'd want to flashback. It's continuing to draw go. Him to TOURACH. Yeah. Take a blast at this hand of yours. Soften it up wherever we can. Force of Negation. That sucks. Now Snapcaster's not even a spicy draw. Because they've dressed down, so Snapcaster's already not that spicy. Just keep drawing hymns. Him is so good against Azorius decks. Thoughtseize. Alright, I mean, I'll Thoughtseize you and take the dress down. If you dress down in response, I'll draw whatever good card you draw with it. Dress down in response. Let's take a Days Undoing. Uh-oh, they're fetching in response. Well, that doesn't matter. If they counter this, then that's still a card out of their hand. Mystic Sanctuary ETB tapped. Just good deck building. I will take Counterspell from this hand, though. When your 6th land comes into play tapped, something's up. The messed up thing is that this doesn't even matter. Until I find a Prismatic Ending for this Narset, they are drawing as live as possible, while I am drawing as poorly as possible. Prismatic Ending. Okay. Well, let's start getting these removal spells out of the hand. I cast my Flurry of Discard. It did not clear any of the 3 removal spells that have been face up the whole game. Should definitely ending on their own turn, yeah. Don't let me get to my upkeep and get extra selection out of the Delver with my fetch land. Oh god, deck. I'm so mad at you. I'm gonna play this out. I might be out of fetchables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, yeah, I should not have played that other one. There's literally nothing to fetch with that last Flooded Strand. I was playing it out because if I get Days Undoing, I just want maximum resources. But that doesn't actually change anything. Delver, go! At that turn where I poked Narset for 1, they would be 4 cards deeper into their deck right now. This game would probably be over. And now they're eating their Narset to try to get something going. They must have drawn another one. That's the thing that makes sense here. And they found Prismatic Ending. I fully expect a second Narset to hit the stack right now. Island, they have 1 unknown card in their hand. Okay, and it wasn't Narset. Wild. They're just getting panicky with 2 removal spells in their hand against 1 Delver and threw Narset away. Now Days Undoing isn't a win off the top. Okay. We're in this. I don't know that we're supposed to be, but we are. I can tangle with Hull Breacher. It's Narset that I'm worried about. They're out of Teferis. Then he Mercs. Okay, there's that thing. I'm going to plow this, not snuff it, because a real thing about this deck that you may or may not know is that it only plays 3 or 4 win conditions. And if I exile this dragon rather than kill it, Days Undoing won't put it back in the deck. Okay, they had Force of Will. Alright, fine, I'll snuff it out. I guess I know what's in their hand. I'll just draw for turn and then decide if I need to snuff it out. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have to take the 4 if I want to hold up Force of Will, which I do. If they draw Narset right now, I'm in trouble. I made the right choice. Bang. Okay, your 2 removal spells. We're a Hymn to TOURACH away from full parity again. I'm a Snapcaster away from taking their Narsets out of their deck. Brainstorm works now. I wish I had an extra Flooded Strand to shuffle away here. Okay, put those 2 back. Fetch my last fetchable. Ponder. Delver, Dress Down. And these are action spells. Okay, and I'll take the Delver and decide if I want Dress Down next turn. The Delver just dies. But I don't know if shuffling, hoping for him to TOURACH is a better play than this. Brainstorm, bummer. Prismatic Ending. 2 cards left. May or may not be Swords to Plowshares. I will take the Dress Down and I'll pass. My top of my deck is currently Prismatic Ending. If they play Narset this turn, that's an answer to that. Yeah, I'll just take the Prismatic Ending for now. I'm Esper Control. Gotta start finding some Strixes. Kraken fetches in the end step. Just check their deck for Shark Typhoon. Sometimes a thing that is in this deck. Do not see it. They have a Wandering Emperor that I need to worry about right now. Also up a minute on my clock. Murktide Regent. This one I'm gonna wait. My deck has Thoughtseize, Hymn to TOURACH, and Snapcaster Mage in it that can clear this Swords to Plowshares, and then Murktide runs Roughshod. Speaking of, okay, Snapcaster is going to cast Thoughtseize here. Snapcaster. Or do I want to take the Narsets out of their deck? That works too. I think I want to Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize you. What are we working with? 2 Swords to Plowshares and Supreme Verdict. Son of a biscuit. I will take the Verdict, I guess. And I will pass the turn. 2 Swords of Plowshares. I should have just extracted the Narsets. I'm going to poke with the Snapcaster until they respond to it. Snapcaster, get in. Didn't respond to it. I'm just going to chill. This Brainstorm for him to TOURACH is a big hit, but lands are dead draws at this point. I can save this Brainstorm until I'm ready to get paid. If my opponent wants to bleed out to Snapcaster Mage in the meantime, we can do that. Now their life total is getting low. Plow, 1 down. Now him is extra potent in the second main. Him to TOURACH you. I know about Plow. And alright, 1 mystery card left. It's time. Was my patience rewarded? Blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big Murktide, exactly lethal, pass the turn. 2 cards in their hand. Narset, I'll Brainstorm in response, try to find an answer to this. None of those are answers to this. Put back Polluted Delta and Swords to Plowshares. Then I can fetch, which won't find a land, but will clear the goop. And then I can dress down. This will at least draw me a card. It won't do any other time. Snapcaster, okay. So you get Narset here, who I wish was not in your deck. Oh, wait, was there a Plow in their graveyard when I Snapcastered earlier? Force of Will doesn't stabilize this game for you. Oh my god. Serious question. Was there a Plow when I Surgicaled again earlier? If there was, I should have targeted that. I feel like there wasn't. They'd been saving the Plows and using the endings. I don't know. Okay, that was a weird game that worked out well for me. I kind of like Opposition Agent and Brazen Borrower just as things that can attack and block. TOURACH Dreadcantor is a heater. Engineered Explosives on 3 can wipe out a bunch of Planeswalkers. If that's where I want to go. Dress Down can turn off Hull Breacher. I don't know how much I care about that. I think I'm cutting these Snuff Outs. I'll leave 1 Surgical in, though once again, we're in a matchup where Surgical is not actually good. But it can, like if I can take their Narsets out of the deck, that's a huge whole aspect of the deck I don't need to worry about anymore. They have to kill me with their 2 Murktide Regents at that point. I hate to leave my pants completely down to creatures, but Swords to Plowshares, Dress Down, and Snuff Out all out. And then I bring in all these things. Brazen Borrowers are pretty effective against Murktide. Still have some Plows, some snaps. Do I want Flusterstorm in this matchup? They're going to bring in blue or Red Blast. I could bring in Blue Blast to fight it. They could have Blood Moon. That would actually just beat me. I think I have to respect Blood Moon at least a little bit. Another Source of Plowshares bites the dust. And I'll go like this. This gives me Hydroblast and 2 Brazen Borrowers to clear a Blood Moon. This hand rips. Thoughtseize into Double Delver. Give it to me. Prismatic Vista, go from the opponent. Tell me your secrets. If they Brainstorm in response here, then that gives them a low value Brainstorm, unless they have something they really got to hide in their hand. Or if they were all in on Brainstorm, finding their second land. We'll find out together what's going on here in a moment. Brainstorm in response is the answer that they have. That means they'll have to redraw at least one of these cards. Oh, they were not about to miss a land drop. Okay. I'll take Pyroblast, leave them with Swords to Plowshares. Because, check this out. Basic Plains in their hand. If they want to Swords to Plowshares a Delver on my turn, then they can't fetch red to do it. Okay, they are just committing to Basic Plains. Gotcha. Oh, sick. How nasty do I want to get? I could just Double Delver, force your Plow, or Double Delver, don't force your Plow. I could also just Baleful Strix. See what you want to do about that. I'm going to Double Delver. This will flush out the Plow. They did make their land drop correctly. I wonder if they hit Blood Moon on top, based on the sequencing here. But I have force for that. Plow's out. Fairy. I'm going to force pitching Brainstorm. I think I'd rather Strix on this board than Brainstorm. Raw card advantage rather than selection. Delver reveals Murktide Regent. Don't mind if I do. Attack opponent. And I'm going to jam Murktide here. I get Scrubland, so I have all my colors, and I can into TOURACH. If they have exactly Supreme Verdict, then they got me. But if they don't have exactly that, this is insane. Here's the land. And they didn't fetch right away. It could be Wandering Emperor, or it could just be nothing. Flip, reveal, Force of Will. Flooded Strand, bummer. Okay, I'm gonna go Strix first, because if I can find a discard spell and mess with their hand pre-combat, I'm in business. That wasn't it. Okay. Do you have the Wandering Emperor? I'm attacking you. I'm not going to play around a one-of that I saw wasn't in their hand 2 turns ago. If they have it, they have it. Looks like they have it. Disappointing. Okay. Do you want to make a 2-2 and eat my Delver for free, or exile my Murktide? I would make a 2-2 and block Delver here. Because then you get to eat Delver. Okay. So they went the other way. They could, like, if they minus block Delver, untap, minus on Murktide, then all my creatures are dead. And they have a 2-2. Plus on nothing. There's the land we knew about. 5 mana. Oh, don't you do it. Ugh. Okay. Well, that was the run they needed. And I've now drawn all my lands. Disappointing. I was always dead to Supreme Verdict, which makes me think they just drew that. Because they didn't need to Wandering Emperor if they had Verdict beforehand. Now I gotta get something big happening before they do anything else. Prismatic Ending. I would rather point that at a Narset or Teferi than save 3 damage off this Samurai. And I can't kill Wandering Emperor with it because I don't play enough colors. And Mystic Sanctuary here. And pick up what? Brainstorm? Yes, okay. Plus Emperor, they're getting their attack. Snapcaster Mage. Okay. This lets me Prismatic Ending and not feel too bad about it, because I can Snap Ending a Narset later. Unfortunately, Murktide ate all my good spells. Samurai Token. Brainstorm. They are at the critical mass where they can Narset minus Fine Days Undoing land drop undo me. Here's land number 6. Untapped land number 6. They already had 6, so actually land number 11. Wasteland, cool. Generally not the most helpful thing in this matchup, but they don't currently have access to basic Mountain, and they probably have 4 Pyroblasts in their deck right now. If this Flooded Strand goes for a red source, I can clear it. This game looks a lot like the last one, except the Wandering Emperor is a very different Planeswalker than Narset is. That one does stuff when nobody's doing anything. Okay, they're committing the Flooded Strand to Volcanic Island. We can take them off red. If I'm not just dead already. Blood Moon. Bad news, team. Can't take them off red. Yep. Blood Moon confirmed. Hydroblast is in my deck. It's gonna be pretty hard to beat, though. Hydroblast. Okay, I'm probably just gonna let the clock run as they kill me kind of quickly here. But I do technically have an out. For Samurais, having Vigilance mean that I can't even get a cheese attack in on Wandering Emperor with Snapcaster. Narset, there she is. Found Swords to Plowshares. Helpful Strix, unhelpful. Playing Snapcaster doesn't change the clock at all. Like, a chump block doesn't matter as long as they put the counter on the correct creature, which they did. That's interesting. Well, I'll try it. Petty Theft, your Blood Moon. Wasteland, your red source. And Snap Strix, or Snap Ending. But this doesn't. Snap Ending, fetch Strix. If I fetch, I die. I needed to float another colorless. So I can just play Strix and then play Snap. And, oh fuck, I was already clicking Snapcaster Mage. God damn it. I needed to play Strix and then hold up Surprise Snapcaster Mage. Dress down. That is fine. Now I can make the play I should have made the first place. Okay. And also dress down. Strix is coming. That wasn't going to draw a card anyway. They plow, I go to 2, and then I still die. It was a good run. Blood Moon confirmed, though. We know about that one. Let's see if they minus Narset and show me anything else about their deck, or if they just go to combat. Just went to combat. You got me. Alright. Blood Moon confirmed. I'm going to bring in the other Hydroblast, because that card is a beating. Do like Opposition Agent quite a lot. I still don't like removal, and I think Surgical's just got to go, and this is what I'm going to do. I did consider, when I was building this deck, or rebuilding this deck today, to play like a Court of Cunning or an Initiative creature or something that would flip these grindy matchups, but decided that I'm already pretty grindy. I have Thoughtseize him to TOURACH Snapcaster Mage, and I didn't go that hard, but it would be really good here. I will keep this handful of good spells. I have access to basic land if I want that. I'm just going to Underground Sea Delver to kick it off, though. I want to drop Delver and Baleful Strix and just put them under some early pressure, make them respond to it. Maybe Delver will flip, though my deck's not built that great. Flip a Delver. Prismatic Ending does flip Delver, though. Attack. And I think I Strix here, and I think I do it off of a second Underground Sea. So I'm playing to him to TOURACH. No, I'm just going to get the basic and make sure I have that wall up at least. Could Pyroblast here, but if they do that, they don't have white mana. Okay, done deal. The fact that they prioritize not giving me an extra card off Strix over killing the 3 damage that's on board in Delver shows me that their hand has more removal in it. I'm going to start attacking. Your job to act first. Okay, here's the plow we know about. Got me. Second main, Ponder. Love to find a Thoughtseize. No such luck. I'm going to shuffle this. This is just more of what my hand already does. I'm looking for more threats or discard spells. Flip the Force at random. There's the Thoughtseize. That will help next turn, maybe. Okay, I'll put the Thoughtseize in my hand. I'm missing a land drop, but I think it's okay in this situation. Brainstorm happens. Holding Tarn. Okay, if they're planning to shuffle, they might not be hiding a good card. Start with a Thoughtseize. What's going on over there? Flusterstorm's going on over there. That one's pretty good. Okay. Missing that land drop last turn. Huge beating. I'm not going to Force of Will one copy of Flusterstorm to get my spell to resolve here. Let's Ponder. Land, Engineered Explosives. I don't think I need EE. I'll take the fetch land on top. I'll have to force a Blood Moon here. We went for the shuffle. Narset. I can answer her with Prismatic Ending, so I'm going to save my force. Down a Brainstorm. My top card is Underground Sea. I'll play that and fetch for Tundra. End this Narset. You have another Flusterstorm? Stop it. I hope this is Brainstorm. Okay, it is Brainstorm. If they force blue card, I force blue card. Then we continue to play from stable, but I hope this just goes away. Cool. That Thoughtseize did function to get Flusterstorm out of their hand, at the very least. They are currently showing Wandering Emperor or Hull Breacher. I'm going to snap a Thoughtseize. They've shown me Dress Downs, but let's start getting them out. Pyroblast. Sure. That works. Do I Brainstorm here? I don't think so. I'm going to pass. Wandering Emperor. I'm going to force this. And now we're chilling. If they stick a big Planeswalker here, I'm in trouble. If they don't, we're going to settle back into how the first 2 games have looked. There's this fucking guy. They have shown me Force of Negation. I'll take a chance to draw. Okay, another piece of interaction. Like so. Towards the Plowshares. You're out of here. Cool, 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 cool. Narset resolves. I'm going to let them minus, and I'm not going to respond. Fairy. Please don't have a land. Yeah, if I can just pop this Brazen Borrower in, they have one unknown in their hand. If we could just clear this Narset, that would be great. Another one. Back Narset. And she's dead. Cool. Fairy. I'm going to cast my other Brazen Borrower in response. This puts lethal on Teferi no matter what they do with it. If they plus, I attack for 6. If they minus, it's at 1 and I have a 3. They didn't have a removal spell last turn. Okay, they're bouncing 1, taking the redraw, which could find a removal spell. Alright, we're doing something here. Blood Moon could come down right now. If they do that, I just clear Teferi. Thematic ending, sure. Ponder. They have nothing stopping me from doing that right now. Don't really want all these lands, but I do like taking them off red, just in case. I don't want to have to deal with Blood Moon or Pyroblast, and I will put Brazen Borrower 3-1 mode back into play. And we're just in an F6 party. Their Wandering Emperor is already answered. Let's see if I could get Teferi out of play. Attacking Teferi. Ponder. Okay. And they found Plow, sure. Gotta play my land because I don't want the other one. Oh no, they have Hullbreacher too. Oh, Sabine's Wreck. Jeez, that was a really good Ponder. Okay, Sabine's Wreck is some technology. They could flash it back at instant speed. Currently no permanents they'd want back. They do have to win this game in 3.5 minutes, even if they Days Undoing me. And I exiled one of their Murktides. By one of their Murktides, I mean their only Murktide. Okay. I would love to draw Engineered Explosives right now. That would be a good one. Oh, we're Days Undoing in my upkeep, sure. I was excited to see that Hymn to TOURACH, but now I'm just going to pass. Brainstorm is cast. They have, to my knowledge, 2 Hullbreachers and 1 Wandering Emperor that can deal 22 damage in 3 minutes. Engineered Explosives is a great draw if I can find it. Narset picked up another Brainstorm. Now they're just casting spells. Want to clean up? Haha! Who's the discard deck now? Oh my god, don't undo me again. This is a great draw. On Queso. I mean, Dress Down gets it, Force of Will gets it. They have a fresh 7-card hand, but this is an absolute banger if it sticks. This is like a real way to win the game from this position. Hullbreacher in response, okay. Is that even good? And I guess it's a non-white thing. Alright. I have a 4/3 that has protection from all your removal spells. The next card you discard for any reason makes TOURACH larger. So a discard to hand size like they did last turn. If I draw a Thoughtseize, they did not attack into TOURACH. Okay. How's answer to your Hullbreacher sound? Blue, black, white. Zap this. Green Verdict in response. That works. Okay. You got me. That's another win condition gone. But they can Sabine's Wreck that back. Oh, Undoing in response. Sure. Alright. We're all having a good time. 1 minute to deal 22 damage. Shuffle Strix. Does not draw a card. Does come into play. Threatens Narset. Blocks. I'm not really sure how we lose this one, honestly, from this point. Obviously, in a different untimed or shared clock situation, this is much worse. Okay. Black, white, blue. How many? Oh my god. Engineered Explosives is in. It's going to pop it in their upkeep before Teferi can draw another card. He's on his way out anyway. Teferi resolves. I recorded with this deck the other day, and the fact that it really has so few ways to win the game if your opponent doesn't just concede to getting Days Undone is a big issue with it in my assessment, which is also kind of an argument for main deck Surgical in a silly way. Okay. They realize they don't have enough time, but I was actually starting to dig out of this. I just found 2 threats, and I mean, they have 10 cards in their hand. Well, they just drew 3 after the game ended. They had 7 cards in hand. I think don't want to get too excited here, but we took that one down to the wire, and it worked. Final round coming. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. On the draw in the final round, positive record on the line. I'm going to keep this hand. It's got some nice reactive stuff and some card advantage. And I get a graveyard deck. Oh, Swamp. That's promising. Ball Therapy. Shit. This is probably going to name Force of Will. That's just the obvious name, and I have fucking 2 of them. Of course I do. Oh, they named Ponder. Level system. Protect the brand. Okay, I mean, that kind of rules. They had a chance to take 2 forces out of my hand and did not do it. I should fetch. I had already passed priority in case they're a Dark Ritual Oppo deck, but I guess I can force the Oppo. Wasteland, not helpful here. I'm gonna fetch. I could Force of Will and Opposition Agent if I need to. Get Tundra and Underground Sea and cast Baleful Strix. I do still have Force blue card, and now I have Force blue card. This could be Nick Fit. I'm trying to think of what decks have Cabal Therapy in them. It's the most busted combo decks, and Nick Fit are basically the answers to that question. Nick Fit could include the mid-range Rector decks that have been kicking around. Okay, so they fetched Dryad Arbor, immediately sacked for Cabal Therapy. This is very obviously going to take my forces this time around, and I'm going to hope that they can't get through 2 waves of it here. Definitely looking more like Nick Fit than a real combo deck. Snapcaster Mage someday. That'll be good. We're not going to fetch. Are we going for basics, or are we going to get a Wasteland in here? Wasteland is live. Ancient Tomb, uh-oh. Getting weird. Baron of Clan Neltoth. Okay, so this is a matchup where the graveyard matters. Baron, at the beginning of your end step, target creature in your graveyard returns to your hand. If that creature's mana value is less than or equal to your experience counter, is put on the battlefield. So Dryad Arbor will come straight back into play. I'm going to Brazen Borrow Marin this turn, and then Wasteland their Ancient Tomb. Do this now. She triggers in the end step. Get rid of her. I play EDH, so I know about that card. Wasteland the Tomb, and continue beating down. This turn, I can Force of Will if I need to. I can deploy Brazen Borrower to keep the beats going. Another fetch land. I probably should have fetched around Opposition Agent, but I didn't. Not punished. Thank you, opponent. Get Brazen Borrower in. Into TOURACH, what's up? I will start with that. Bang. Baron hit the bin and the 4th Landicaster. Okay, don't have Endurance. Okay, Snapcaster Him is live for next turn if I don't have to force this turn. Taiga, okay, we're Jund. And we did it, cool. Got a little fancy on their first Cabal Therapy, but they are a fair deck, so it's reasonable. Opposition Agent is going to play here. Dress Down's going to play. There's a good chance they're going to have Veil of Summers. Flusterstorm is good against Cabal Therapy and Veil of Summer and Green Sun Zenith. I definitely want Brazen Borrower, Dress Down, Oppo, and then TOURACH is my 2nd tier and Flusterstorm is my 3rd tier. Let's see what I'm cutting. I do like the Surgicals. We finally found a matchup where they're relevant. Snuff Out. The important creature I saw is black, so I'm going to cut those. We still have removal in the deck. Force of Will is relevant. Thoughtseize, I like. Him to TOURACH, I like. Maybe I don't need the full boat of those. Maybe Strix can chill a little. Chill a little on Strix. Chill a little on Thoughtseize. That gives me Brazen Borrower, Dress Down, Oppo, and TOURACH. And Flusterstorm. Force of Will could be important if they just get to the cast creatures phase of the game like they did with Mare in that game. Flusterstorm's better if they're doing Green Sun Zenith stuff. I'll just stick to trusty old Force of Will. I go in like this. Dope hand. It will need to draw or ponder into a second black source to get him off, but I'm here for it. The foothills. Forest. I got the plow for this one. So I'm fetching scrubland. Oh yeah, definitely. Drawing the second black source there and makes the fetch clean as possible. Fetching scrubland and swords to plowshares. This is a ramp deck. If they're not able to ramp, then they are not a deck. I should expect to get therapied this turn. Like, you don't run out Explorer unless you have a sack outlet. Wooded Foothills. Does not fetch basic swamp. And they've seen Wasteland, so they gotta think about it. Uh-oh. Is it Ren at 6? It's Zenith for 1, which is probably going to get another Explorer. I could force pitch Ponder here to shut this down, and or I could him to TOURACH, but that doesn't help because that puts therapy in the graveyard all the same. Yeah, I'm going to force pitch Ponder. I think I'd rather keep the win condition in my hand than the cantrip. Oh yeah. Him to TOURACH this turn, foot on the gas next. Can't veil me right now. Thoughtseize Dryad Arbor hit the graveyard. Okay. Their hand would have to be Black Source Cabal Therapy, and they'd have to name Delver of Secrets for me to be punished here. Okay, here we go. Delver, Delver. They could have Pyroblast or Lightning Bolt. I should probably expect Endurance out of this deck too. But they missed their last land drop. Okay, Veil of Summer just a cantrip. They did have it. Played around it. I would be totally okay with miss your land drop past the turn here. Oh no. Okay. They could choke me. They could Blood Moon me. They could... I'm actually more worried about Endurance than choke or Blood Moon here. Pernicious Deed is also a card that is in this sort of deck. Toxic Deluge. Basically my nightmare across the board. How about you just, like, don't do those things? Witherbloom Apprentice. Oh, I might die next turn. Alright, Flip Delvers revealing Swords to Plowshares. Let's go. Flooded Strand. Shit. No flips. I'll play Polluted Delta and pass the turn. Okay, Witherbloom combo. Do you have it? Or am I going to get another Eternal Looks? Basic Forest from hand. Instant Boot Timeless Heroes. Yikes. Well, if my Delvers flip, that's dead. But it is a lot of damage before that point. Okay, Delvers, I need you here. Instant Boo coming in. This is still raceable. This is still winnable. First Delver, show me the money. Underground Sea. No flip. Shuffle. Get Tundra. Show me the money. Flooded Strand, no! Alright, we're gonna die to this Minskin Boo. Okay. I don't think a Delver has flipped yet in this league. Not even once. Okay. Plague Engineer on Hamster. Does shut down Minskin Boo. They've shown me him to TOURACH. And now we know that they have Witherbloom combo. What does all this mean? I think TOURACH is worse. The actual guy. At least one Plague Engineer in. Hydroblast is another thing that can fight Minskin Boos. Surgical does not stop Veteran Explorer. It does stop... It slows down Marin, and it does stop Rectors, but we've seen Jundman. I don't know if they are a Rector build. Do I want the Hydroblast? Do I want the Plague Engineer? Okay, I guess this is my adjustment for Game 3. Turn 1 Thoughtseize. Keep. Can I get Underground Sea? What do you have? Please be bad. You have your own Thoughtseize and Veteran Explorer and Zenith and Minskin Boo. I'm going to take your Thoughtseize. They play Explorer. I have the Plow. Forest. Okay, they're doing Zenith for 0. I can Plow that too. Force of Will. I like that. That changes things. I think I'm going to Strix this turn. Magic ending. Now I can answer Explorer another way and still have Plow up later. They have not shown me a red source yet. If they have Veteran Explorer plus Sack Outlet, they get a red source. There's one unknown card in their hand right now. Alright. Explorer resolves. And they played their land already, so it'd have to be some kind of mono green Sack Outlet. I don't think that's a thing. Wasteland, what's up? Prismatic Ending your Explorer, land your Dryad Arbor, and begin the attack. Let's keep them from functioning. I do need some additional beef if I'm going to win this game. Baleful Strix is not going to be good for 20 on its own. Another Underground Sea. I think it's a reasonable time to brainstorm. I'll leave up black in case I find him. Plague Engineer, okay. Put back Murktide and Engineer. And then I can play my other Strix this turn and still have Force Blue card up. Engineer shuts off Minsc and Boo starting next turn. They would have to have a red source and a protection from Force of Will to get Minsc and Boo down now. Red source confirmed. This actually sucks that I have to force this now. And I'm glad I have it. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I can block it with Baleful Strix and then Plague Engineer and hold up Force. Okay. Feeling crazy. They're gassing up their boy. Do they want to offer 3 trample damage for a Baleful Strix? Please do. Okay, block. That Gambit worked out. Plague Engineer on Hamster. I should... I mean, Minsc and Boo is a sack outlet, but with Murktide Regent in my hand, I'm gonna focus on reducing my opponent's life total. I'm holding Murktide Regent with Force backup. Ancient Tomb is a card in their hand. Foothills. Ancient Tomb still in their hand. 2 mystery cards. Minsc and Boo plus target nothing. That's good. That means they're not sacrificing anything this turn. While Therapy resolves. I hope they don't name Murktide Regent. I intentionally click through this really fast to make it feel like I don't have Force of Will. Like, don't stop and think about it if you're not going to counter it, because that just tells them what you have. Now they've seen what the end game looks like. Attack my opponent. I could Force of Will and Endurance if they have that. They have 1 unknown card. And Murktide Regent. There it is. Force of Will and Swords of Plowshares available. 2 unknown cards in their hand. Plus Ancient Tomb. They know about all my cards except for Prismatic Ending. Played Taiga. I like that. Plague Engineer. This can name Bird and then kill my Strix. And they could sack it to Minsc and Boo and kill my Plague Engineer. Or, no, they can't do that, because I have Plow. If they minus Boo, I'll Plow in response, and then they have nothing. Sacrifice a creature. When you do, no, you don't. Plow that. They did know about that, so they were just trying to get it out of the hand. Holding vengefully, jealously to my Force of Will. Attack my opponent. Okay, they're on a 1-turn clock and they have to get through Force of Will. I think I'd rather hold up Dress Down with the possibility of Force of Will than him to Turok this Ancient Tomb out of their hand. We got the GGs in the chat and they're out of here. Okay, a positive record. And this time, unlike last time where we played against 4 decks that care at least a little bit about their graveyard, we played against exactly 1 deck that only cares a little bit about its graveyard for like Marin Clan Neltoth strategies. No Uros in the league, no graveyard combo, no Life from the Loams. 3 Stompy decks. But we still managed to mid-range Delver our way to a positive record. I think Esper is in a pretty cool spot. I have a bunch of Esper Staff of the Storyteller lists coming up on the channel in the next couple weeks. If we're going to be just mid-range Esper anyway, I probably don't even want to play Delver and would rather be doing that. But Delver put people under the gun, even though this deck's pretty bad at flipping its Delvers. Pretty high creature and enchantment count. Surgical Extraction made for an easy card to board out every round. We counted that. This did feel more responsible, like running through this league if we still had 3 Surgicals in the main would have been even worse. So we're moving in the direction of responsibility. If you want to play main deck Surgicals, this is a fine shell to do it in. If you want to play Esper Delver, cut those cards for good cards, probably 2 more spells of some variety. I don't know that this mana base supports Daze particularly well, but you could try that. You could play another Brazen Borrower, another Snuff Out. All those things are reasonable. A 3rd Murktide. Probably want a Court of Cunning or 2 in the sideboard for the hyper grindy matchups, because those Jeskai decks that play 4 Plow, 4 Ending, 2 Supreme Verdict, 3 Teferi, 4 Pyroblast. They're out there. And you gotta get through the decks that don't let themselves be touched by creatures somehow. That's my feedback after the second round with this league. Ray, thanks for sharing your deck with us 2 times. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.